Hello and welcome to Conservative to America, America's number one teen conservative podcast. I'm your host, Cole Holcomb, and today we are starting off with the big thing. Everyone's talking about it. Republicans taking back both the U.S. Senate, the U.S. House, and the U.S. presidency. Well, let's first start off with the U.S. presidency. Of course, I've been making podcasts for a while, but then I took a break here for a while. I decided I'm going to start doing it again. We're going to make it big this time. We're going to try hard. We're going to work on the material really well. But let's go off and let's start with the presidency. So Donald Trump secured the Electoral College landslide. He also secured the popular vote. For the first time he's done it. He's ran 3 elections. He's won it once this election. He didn't win it against Hillary. He didn't win it against Biden, of course, because he lost that election. And he didn't win it in 2024. And he won it finally now in 2024. Well, that's wonderful. But through looking at all this, through this, we then go on to the Senate. In the United States Senate, we were able to pull off 4 pickups. One in West Virginia, that was well known, pretty assumed. Montana, most people thought Jon Tester's time was up, and the people of Montana spoke and said, "Get out, you're fired." Sherrod Brown in Ohio, somewhat of a surpriser how much Bernie Moreno beat him. It was good though, good for Republicans. We took the Senate. We held on in Texas in big numbers. We held on in Nebraska. We held on. We picked up that seat up in Pennsylvania. That was the big one. Bob Casey. No one saw it coming. Yeah, some people believe that maybe, but they still didn't think that Dave McCormick had his shot. Well, now Democrats are trying to say Dave McCormick still doesn't have a shot. Dave McCormick didn't win. CNN still has yet to call that race. Today, November the 18th, Election Day was 13 days ago, and they almost 2 weeks ago, and they still have yet to call that race. That's tremendous that they won't call it. And it's just terrible that they will not call that race. CNN won't because they're Democrats. They try to deny the elections. They always called us the election deniers, the party that's against democracy. But now it comes down to it. It's the election 2024. They're on the hot seat. They lost an election clearly to Dave McCormick, and now they're saying, let's do the recount. Bob Casey won't even act like he lost. He said, yeah, I won. I won. It was cheating. And now they're counting illegal votes, doing everything they can, and still the New York Times has it as unlikely that he will be able to win those illegal votes. The Democrats will try to do everything they can to silence and suppress to silence and suppress Republican votes, to silence the voters, and to get back and recontrol their power that they want. It's all about their power. That's what you get whenever you elect Democrats. And the American people said no. We said no to 4 years of the Biden shambles that we had around Washington. We said no to the 4 years of an unworking Congress, of a Congress that cannot get anything done or anything pushed through. We took the House, not in big numbers. We should have done it better, but also it's an election season. But based on how much Trump won by, we should have picked up more seats. Based on how he did in New York, based on how he did in California, he didn't win those states. He got good numbers in New York compared to most Democrats. He didn't do great. He didn't do good in California. He still lost by 20 points. But still, compared to how it's been voting in past elections, and they got more Republican, we should have picked up more seats in this election. But we didn't. Right now, I believe that Republicans will probably there will probably be about 5 to 6 seats in between the Republicans and Democrat majority. Still, they have called the election for the House, but we still don't know the final results because of the communists in California who still don't want to call the election in those seats, and they're counting votes. They continue to count votes and count votes and count votes. They count votes until they get a Democrat ahead, and they say, "Oh well, how much do they say we have left? Okay, let's keep counting votes, and then we'll just make sure these all go in." And either way, though, then it goes bam, 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 and they win an election because that's what Democrats do. They try to cheat, and there were videos that showed cheating in California. Videos that showed cheating in California. Videos of cheating all across America. Yes, we won the presidency, but there was still cheating down ballot all across America. States like Wisconsin, Michigan. Not to say that the election was cheated, not to go and be an election denier. I accept the results, I accept it all, but still, that I truly believe there was cheating. We can look at it. There definitely was cheating. Ballot boxes being burned in Pennsylvania and Arizona and Nevada. People suppressing votes in Wisconsin and Michigan. We were outspent all across the nation, and yet we still were able to pull it off. Yes, we won, but Democrats did it in a more subtle way, a way that we wouldn't notice as easy, by doing it down ballot in seats like how in state house races and state senate races and governors races and U.S. Senate, U.S. House, and county commissioner, and all these races. The Democrats were still suppressing votes. They were still cheating. And I'm not trying to be some election denier. I'm not trying to be the person who goes out and says the election was stolen. But I am trying to though show the point that Democrats really have and really do want to cheat. And they did cheat in this election, just not on the presidential level, or if they did, just not on the level that they did that they uh, did at the rest of the levels, as in the U.S. Senate, U.S. House. But getting off of that train, let's look at under the next Donald Trump presidency. People are asking all across America, especially teenagers, what's another Donald Trump presidency going to look like? The last time that he was in office, we were in middle school or we were in elementary school. We don't remember much. I do. I've been into this stuff since I was little. But to you who maybe say I don't remember much of this, I've got a message for you. Donald Trump, we're gonna most people are saying within 8 months diesel will fall below gas again by $1, at less than by $1. So it'll probably be back down to $2, $1.50. Gas will probably drop down to about $2.50, and those are good prices. I'd like to see gas drop back down. Anybody remember where I live? It was down to like $1.70 during COVID. Inflation went down that year, of course, because of COVID. You couldn't get people to buy things because they were sitting in their house, but still, those were good numbers. But you did lose jobs during that time. So there's a bunch of different statistics that you got to look at. By the way, overall, Donald Trump's presidency was better than the Biden presidency on economic issues. That's why he won, because people wonder if they went to the polls this November, they voted their pocketbook. I'd also like to remind you the last podcast that I had all the way back in June. Does anybody remember? Well, I projected it. Go back and watch that podcast. I said, you heard it here first, folks. You did hear it here first, folks. I announced that Kamala Harris would not be the party's nominee. I announced that was before the debate. Prior to the debate, I said it was all a coup. They were getting ready to coup. It was the coup d'etat, the biggest coup d'etat in American politics. And guess what? It happened, and I was right. But Donald Trump was able to pull it off because I said they didn't have a good candidate. I said Kamala Harris wasn't a good candidate, but that's what they picked. And it turned out she wasn't a good candidate, just like I said. And that's what happened. So with all that being said, me going on my temper, me going on my rant about how I was right. Well, let's get back to talking about what new Donald Trump presidency is going to look like from 2024 to 2028. Well, we'll hold the House and we'll hold the Senate the first 2 years. That means we'll push economic things. Drill, baby, drill will be pushed through. Like, I believe it was Sarah Palin who came up with that drill, baby, drill. That'll come back through. We'll have that running again in America. Once you get done with drill, baby, drill, well, then let's look at what else is going to happen. We are going to encourage the rights of parents through uh, through school choice programs all across America. America School Choice. We're going to make America healthy again uh, through RFK getting in. I like all of RFK's stuff whenever it comes to health, most of his stuff, not all of his stuff, but I think that he has some good ideas, and I think that he would make a good, and he will make a good health secretary, uh, along with Tulsi Gabbard coming in there. She'll do good for her job. But all these people coming into the Trump administration, all these outsiders that you would have never seen even in Reagan administrations, which Reagan's my favorite president. You see him up there on my shelf. You can slightly see him, but Reagan is my favorite president. But you still would have not seen guys like this, like Elon Musk and a Kennedy and a Gabbard and all these people serving in a Reagan administration, but you can see him serve in a Trump administration for one reason, because Donald Trump is the voice of the people. Because Donald Trump he changed the Republican demographic. The Republican demographic prior to Donald Trump was college educated voters primarily. Now the Republican demographic is mainly uh, blue collar workers, your workers without a college education. And number three, we're starting to turn on we're starting to have minorities come into the GOP. But with all this being said, the Republican demographic is beginning to change and it's beginning to turn out in support of Republicans. But I think that there's going to be good things that are going to come out of the Trump administration. I'd like to thank everyone for watching today on Conservative to America. I'm your host, Cole Holcomb. Hopefully, we will be back tomorrow with another podcast on Tuesday. I don't know what time we'll post it, but we should post another one tomorrow with the number one hits and news stories all across America. And remember, you heard it here first, folks, on Conservative to America. I'm your host, Cole Holcomb, signing off.